She sat there in silence, the cursor blinking on her laptop screen like it was mocking her. Another job application submitted. Another empty sigh leaving her lips. Maya had lost count of how many she'd sent out. Maybe 40. Maybe 50. But the number didn't matter anymore, because the answer had always been the same. No reply. Or worse, polite rejection emails that all sounded the same, like they were written by machines that had never known heartbreak, disappointment, or effort without reward. She would read those words, "Thank you for your interest, but we've chosen to proceed with other candidates," and feel the invisible weight pressing harder against her chest. Each time, a little piece of her confidence disappeared. Not dramatically. Just a quiet fading, like color draining from a once bright painting. What stung the most wasn't the rejection, it was the fact that no one even cared to ask why her resume didn't sparkle. No one ever saw the story behind the gaps, the struggles behind the missing titles, the sacrifices hidden between the lines. Maya had once been full of dreams, bold ones. She used to walk into every class like it was a stepping stone to something extraordinary. She wasn't the loudest or the flashiest, but she was determined. She earned top grades, built great relationships with her professors, and even secured a promising internship at a major marketing firm during her final year. Everyone said she was going places. But then life stepped in, quietly, and turned the map upside down. Her father had a heart attack just a week after her graduation. It happened so suddenly, so brutally, that she never got to say goodbye. Her younger brother, still in school, fell apart. Her mother, already juggling a part-time job and her own grief, was slipping under the weight of it all. So Maya did what no one asked her to do, she paused her life. She gave up the internship. She stayed home. She became the glue that held everything together while her own pieces quietly shattered. For 5 years, she worked small jobs, bookstores, part-time receptionist gigs, tutoring. Anything that allowed her to be home in the evenings. She cooked, managed bills, dried tears, celebrated birthdays quietly, and reminded her family that everything would be okay, even when she didn't believe it herself. She watched her peers post about promotions and trips and new beginnings while she scraped together enough savings to fix a broken fridge. But through it all, she never resented it. Her family came first. Her brother eventually graduated. Her mother found some peace. And when Maya finally looked at her reflection one morning and realized she had time to breathe again, she also realized something else: her dreams hadn't died. They had only been asleep. With trembling fingers and a hopeful heart, she reopened her resume. She updated her experience, added the certifications she had quietly completed during sleepless nights, and began sending it out. But job after job, the silence remained. Or worse, the cold, algorithm-written rejections that made her feel less like a person and more like an outdated file. Her experience wasn't linear enough, her career path too disrupted, her roles too junior. No one bothered to ask why. No one read between the lines. She wasn't bitter, just tired. Tired of shouting into a void where only perfection was heard. One night, after a particularly painful rejection from a role she had really hoped for, Maya sat in bed with her laptop open, fingers frozen over the keyboard. She was about to submit another application to a small but growing marketing firm that claimed to value authenticity and passion in its job listing. She stared at her resume, knowing it looked like 100 others. Nothing about it screamed, "Pick me." And that's when it happened. A quiet voice inside her, maybe her old self, maybe something braver, told her to say something real. Just once. Not for strategy, not for pity. Just to be heard. She scrolled to the bottom of the resume, found the section labeled Additional Notes, and began typing slowly. "I may not have the perfect resume," she wrote. "But I do have something more. I have grit. I've learned how to sacrifice for others, how to hold things together when they're falling apart, and how to keep going when giving up would have been easier. I'm not just looking for a job. I'm looking for a place to serve, to grow, and to contribute with everything I have. If you've read this far, thank you. That already means more than you know. She paused, reread it, and then hit send. She didn't expect a reply. She just needed to be honest, for once, to say what was in her heart, not what sounded good on paper. Miles away, in a quiet office at the top of a modest building, Ethan Hayes scrolled through resumes on his screen with the weary frustration of someone looking for a needle in a haystack. He was the founder and CEO of that very marketing firm, one that had started out small but grown because he believed in people, not just polished resumes. He had built his company on second chances, on stories that deserved to be heard. But recently, he felt that spark fading. Everyone looked the same. Every cover letter felt like it had been fed through a formula. Until Maya's resume appeared. At first glance, it didn't stand out. The experience was scattered. The job titles modest. He was about to move on. But something, maybe the quiet honesty in her formatting, maybe just intuition, made him scroll down to the bottom. And there it was. Her note. He read it once. Then again. And with each word, something stirred inside him. He remembered his own past, the mother who raised him alone, the jobs he juggled in college, the way he almost didn't make it because his resume didn't look right. He remembered the one person who gave him a chance. And he realized that Maya wasn't just another applicant. She was someone who had lived life. Who had earned resilience. He picked up his phone and marked her for interview, personally. When Maya received the email, her hands trembled. It had been so long since she had felt seen. She didn't know whether to be excited or scared, but she chose to believe, just a little. She put on her best outfit, tied her hair back, and wore her brother's watch for luck. During the interview, she answered every question honestly. She didn't try to hide the pauses in her career or explain them away with clever phrases. She simply told her truth. And when Ethan asked about her final note, she smiled and said, "I just wanted someone to see more than bullet points." She didn't know that Ethan had already made up his mind before she even walked in. She started the following Monday. In the beginning, she was nervous. The office buzzed with energy and confidence. Her teammates had years of uninterrupted experience and impressive portfolios. But Maya didn't try to outshine anyone, she just worked. Quietly. Diligently. Always the first in, often the last to leave. She paid attention to details others missed, caught mistakes others overlooked, and listened to clients with a warmth that couldn't be taught. Slowly, people started noticing. Her ideas during brainstorming sessions were fresh and grounded. Her client presentations had a sincerity that landed deals. And her coworkers began coming to her, not just for help, but for advice, encouragement, and sometimes, just to talk. 6 months in, she was leading her own campaign. A year later, she was promoted to project manager. And one afternoon, as she walked past Ethan's office, he called her in. "Do you remember what you wrote at the end of your resume?" he asked. Maya smiled. "I do," she said softly. He nodded. "That note saved you from being overlooked. It reminded me what really matters." Maya blinked back tears. "Thank you for reading till the end," she whispered. "Most people never do." Ethan smiled back. Sometimes, the best people are hidden in the quietest lines. To anyone watching this, maybe you're someone who's been overlooked, passed by, told you're not enough because your journey doesn't fit into perfect boxes. Maybe you've paused your life for someone else. Maybe your timeline looks messy. And maybe you've started to believe that it makes you less valuable. But please, don't let the world tell you your worth based on how shiny your resume looks. Your story, your heart, your battles, they matter. The right people, the right place, they will see it. Just like Ethan saw Maya. Just like she refused to stop believing. And one day, someone will read till the end, and that's end, And that's when everything will begin to change. If this story moved you, even just a little, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope. And don't forget to subscribe to Everyday Gray Stories, where every story reminds you that your quiet strength, your invisible journey, is never in vain. Sometimes, the smallest words speak the loudest truths. And sometimes, the last line is where the real story begins.